10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And he manages to get it wide to Jacob Minter. Yeah, good job with the shot, and the Slough Jets have taken the lead on the power play with 23 Russell with the shot cross goal. No need for the save from Lorde, and Campbell finds himself in, and it is 3-1 to the Chelsea Chieftains. They have Hello and welcome to Zero Pucks Given, the UK Ice Hockey Podcast. We're in partnership with the Hockey Art Co, hockey clothing for hockey people, worn by the best and hated by the rest. Listeners to Zero Pucks Given get a 10% discount on everything site-wide from hockeyartclothing.co.uk. Just use the code ZP10. We're also in partnership with Manscaped, the globally recognised male grooming brand that have top-of-the-range products such as the Lawnmower, the Weed Whacker and the Dome Shaver Pro. You can get 20% off of everything from manscaped.com when you use the code ZeroPucks20. And finally, we are on the Sports Social Podcast Network, the largest sport podcast network in Europe, boasting over 500 podcasts from more than 20 different sports. Well, welcome along to episode 151. We're going a little bit special. We're going across the pond, and we're going to be catching up with a man who played hockey as a junior, played a little bit of semi-pro, had a good acting career, and is now making his way back in. Phil Eichinger, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing tonight, sir?
What's up? Thank you for having me. Yes, long way, but far apart. So, yes, it's awesome.
Well, for those that might not know, you played a bit of semi-pro hockey, I think it was out of college, and then you've sort of taken a break to do some acting work. You've had a family, and now you're sort of documenting your journey back into hockey. So tell us why you decided to get back in after all this time.
Yes, so I played semi-professionally the year 2003, a couple of years after I graduated college. Attending free agent camps in Canada, Michigan, and I caught on to this league. It was the IIHL at the time. It was like a 5 to 6 team league. Didn't last very long, which was unfortunate. Kind of after I came home, after the league folded and so forth, I took an acting class just for shits and giggles. Like I said, I was way graduated from college. Acting really took off. The professors in the class is like, you should go audition. I was like, what's that? And, and this is 2005. So I found my way, started auditioning, started booking everything I was auditioning for. One job kind of took me over the plateau. It was a 9-month contract for a theater tour, and I turned to a professional actor kind of right away, and just kept going. I mean, there's a lot of ebbs and flows in this business, but there's always a progression, and there's a ladder of going up. And over the years, I've booked some really awesome television shows, some cool commercials, little independent, solid films. And then, I'm still a professional actor. I've been in the business for about 17 years now. Like I said, it's got its ups and downs. More downs than ups in this business, so you got to keep a solid head. And a reason why I create my own content, produce my own films and what have you. And this hockey project came about 2.5 years ago. My daughter, who was 6 at the time, was starting her hockey journey, which is awesome for any father to have their young kid at 6 ready and skating by the age of 3 already, getting the full gear and starting, learning to play and things. But I wasn't playing at the time. I kind of did the quote unquote, I'm not playing in a men's or beer league, or I'm not going to skate open hockey. What for? But then I'm like, I have to. What does that show my daughter that I'm not playing? So started to skate again. I have a rink nearby that I'm able to get the ice pretty much by myself. So I'm out there throwing shit on the ice, tires, cones, wood, and I'm just training. A couple months go by, I notice that I'm getting better than I've ever was. And this was, 46, 47 at the time. My conditioning, my off ice training is awesome. I'm always a person who's in shape, regardless. But on ice, condition is different than off ice. So I was doing a lot of yoga and hockey only, and it was working wonders. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling amazing. Okay, what can I do with this? ability that I'm this skill level that I'm at again, the speed that I'm at again. What can I do? And to show my daughter, you can do this. You can play hockey, do whatever you want in life, no matter what the outcome. Turn your what if into a why not. And that was kind of the tagline to this documentary of following me, Phil Eichinger at 47, seeing if he can able to compete at these free agent camps and make a team in the FPHL. So that was kind of the project and how it came to fruition.
And so acting wasn't your vocation at college?
It was not. So my college degree is fine arts. So I was an art teacher, painting, sculpting, all the hands-on art, a little bit before graphic design.
Hmm.
So yes, my degree was in fine art and education.
That's quite
And then,
quite a fine
yeah,
piece behind you, actually.
yeah, that's me. Yeah, that was a big piece I did about 20 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah, for those joining us on YouTube, you'll be able to see that
that's
funny
awesome.
piece behind Phil there.
Yeah, so it wasn't. So acting was a second career for me. Way a few years after graduating, like I mentioned, I dove into this class just for fun. I'm like, I'll take a class at a community college, and it took off. So yeah, to answer that, no, acting was it came into my life at age 31, I believe. So 2006-ish. Yeah, 31, 32.
Well, hockey is a sport. I mean, even people in the UK will know a lot of the guys that play at the professional, semi-professional, and even the pay-to-play level in the UK have come through rigorous junior setups, playing up as often as they can to get as much ice as they can. But you said you're doing the open hockey camps. We don't really have that over here. So explain to us what that is.
So free agent camps.
Free agent camps,
So
yeah.
what it is, every a team like the league, the FPHL is definitely one that has it all. So every team is, I guess they have to have this free agent open camp, which usually lasts, usually a weekend. You're there, you're signing up, you pay to play. You maybe 3 sessions. You're doing 2 scrimmages and maybe a practice session, all in compiled like under 48 hours. So it's a lot of ice time for just a short amount of time. So what you do, you're paying to try out with the hopes of making main camp, get an invite. So free agent meaning anyone in their right mind who thinks they're a good enough player can sign up. Sure, you got to have some credentials. You can't be like some management is going to be like, this guy's only been in a beer league. I don't know.
You got to at least have a elite prospects page.
Right, he's got. Let me look at his page. So that's kind of what it is, and like we were kind of touching base earlier, a lot of sports don't have that. Like football, you're not walking on to a free agent. I mean, are there minor league football? No. Hockey, baseball, as we spoke, there's independent baseball where they do these open tryouts. So it's like an open tryout. You pay, you join, you hang out for a weekend, you schmooze with guys, you get to know people, and you're on the ice a lot in under 48 hours.
So I mean, with the where you played obviously after college and then coming back now, are you
Yeah.
seeing guys that were perhaps NHL drafted and didn't quite make it and they're now coming back to these camps?
No.
No?
So obviously when I was in these camps, it was mid to late 20s. I started trying out. And I just felt, I guess I felt the level was completely different. The skill level was different. Hockey's changed over 20 years. The guys were bigger back then, and also for me, doing it at almost kind of the same age as everybody else doing it back then, it was a little more stressful because, oh gosh, what I got to make a team, oh no, what am I here for? So it's a little stressful, but going back and I'm not going to give away too much of the documentary series, but coming back to it in my late 40s, I was so carefree. I was 20 years plus some of these guys like could be their father, and I was in the best shape of my life, and I won't ruin anything about it, but just know that I was fucking awesome. And I think the mental state from being 25 to 47 is very different. Wasn't afraid of nothing. I knew I was a much better, I knew I became a much better hockey player, which is really interesting to even say that from 20, even up to like 30 and then 47, being like, holy crap, this is the best I've ever been. I got to show my friends, family, daughter, dad that come on, come do this with me, dad. Come stay in a hotel like he used to. My dad, that was a big part of this. And then we're going off a little bit, but my dad being a part of this documentary was huge because what a major supporter, never missed a college game, was always on the bus, both my mom and my dad, buses to road trips. So I just thought of it really fun, rewind the clock, bring them back, come stay at a hotel with me with the cameraman, and just let's do this like we did in my 20s, be a part of my journey because he was a huge part of my life, tying my skates, taking me to youth hockey. So it was like a full circle thing to share it with him again as well.
Yeah. So the documentary that you're creating about your journey is called "Age is Just a Hockey Number," which I absolutely love.
Thank you. And oh my gosh, let me tell you, it only came to me that, I mean, I've been sitting on this project for 2.5 years. It sat on my computer as a rough edit of a short film, and it just wasn't doing it for me. The editor, her name is Ashley, she did a phenomenal job for this rough cut of it. And then I'm like, it's just not working. Not It wasn't her fault. The story wasn't kind of unfolding. I'm like, and then it was only January 14th, a couple weeks ago. I had an epiphany. I'm like, people's attention span these days are shot. It's quick stuff. What if I break it up into these mini little episodes and just rework the edit, which I did. Everything she did, I kind of tweaked and turned and added new stuff and brought a story to life and brought different aspects to it. So pretty much I did it with a buddy of mine, give me an extra set of eyes on the project, and we broke it up into 4 episodes under 5 minutes, and it's right to the point. It's sweet. It's like a postcard of love, and you're just watching. Like I said, it doesn't have to deal with hockey. It's the idea of just turn your what if into a what, why not, whatever you're doing in life, and just go with it and just follow this journey of me just doing something to show people you can do this no matter what.
Mm. It's available on YouTube, isn't it, to watch? I think the first one came out earlier this week, and the
Yeah,
second
sorry.
every Friday, is it?
Yeah, every Friday this month, because as you know, this month in February, it's a huge month for hockey with the nation. So I'm like, there's a plan in here. I had a plan. I'm like, that's why I worked on it very fast from January 14th. I'm like, all right, let me break them up, let it get them out. Yeah, but so age is just a hockey number, and it came to me just as quickly as these episodes. It was untitled at the time, and I'm like, holy crap, age is just a hockey number. I mean, it's what a great subtext.
Yeah. Would you take 47 if you made a team?
Would I take 47? I mean, I guess if I made a team now, I'd take 50 because I'm going to be turning 50 this year. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
if I try out this year and make a team, I'm going to 50 now.
Awesome. Awesome. Probably a bit of a goalie number. I would have said 50.
I know, right? There is no one rocking 50.
So when your playing career back straight out of college, what was that? Were you a forward player? What sort of player were you?
Center only.
Mm.
I was a goal scorer back in the late 90s. I mean, I went to college from 93 to 2001 because I went 2 years in grad school as well, because that started coming into play when you can go back to grad school and play another 2 years.
Yeah.
In the States, it was a big thing. A lot of guys were coming back to do that. So I was a center my whole career, face-off specialist, goal scorer, fast. Uh, but yeah, so that's kind of, and I was at a Division II club team, so I wasn't, no big D1 school. I worked hard. I was not given the ability to play hockey. I had to work hard at being good. So that's why a lot of the free agent camps for me at the time were tough because a lot of these guys, bigger and better, and that's what it was back then. Now it's just speed. Who the heck care what age you are, how tall you are, how thin you are. My stature now is perfect for hockey. Where back then it really kind of wasn't.
Yeah, as you said, the game's changed.
Oh,
The players are actually a little bit smaller, but a bit thicker, a bit stronger.
yeah. I mean, I'm 5'11", 165 on a wet day, and but I'm in the best shape of my life, the past few years. So if I had this back then, who knew, how far it could have been a little bit. But I pushed hard and got as far as I could back then with what I was able to do.
Hmm. Have you done any acting within hockey as well? So have you been involved in any projects that were hockey?
Yes, yeah, and that's a great thing. That's an awesome question, man, because when you're an actor, your special skill section is huge because you kind of get siphoned out. Like, ooh, a professional actor, but he also played professional hockey. Ooh. So yeah, I've done some really cool NHL commercials in the past. I skated with some players like back in the day, like Jonathan Toews, before he even won Stanley Cups for it was an NHL station called Versus that used to be around back like 15 years ago. So I skated with him, Ryan Malone. I did a commercial, just a hockey commercial, because they wanted people with awesome lingo and the language of hockey. And I was talking about Ovi back in the day again. I did a couple print commercials just because I had the equipment. I've made it pretty far. Like I always usually get like to the second callback or so with hockey, and then uh, Cobra Kai. I auditioned for a professional player on Cobra Kai. Yeah, usually when there's a hockey thing, I usually audition for it, or my agent will get me in touch with it somehow, or really work hard to get in. Yeah, so to end, yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Because oh God, if you'd have got the Cobra Kai one, you'd have been in two of my
Oh,
favorite TV shows with Cobra Kai and Gotham.
you don't have to tell me that. I mean, I wanted that Cobra Kai because it must have been, I think it was like my fifth time auditioning for that show too. And, at this time of the business, everything is from home. So I go down my studio, I audition, send it off to my agents, and they submit it to the people who make the decision. And I'm like, how can I not get this part? They're looking for professional, not really super handsome. I got, hockey look, and I was a lot. I think I groomed a little bit, so I didn't look so, gray. Uh, and then, I think those are the parts that I connect to. So I wonder, oh, who got that part? Since I didn't get it, who got that part? And then it ended up being someone who was local because they shoot that down south, like in North Carolina, South Carolina. And I'm up in New Jersey. So they ended up doing, casting a local actor down there. So it's like, oh, great. What was the point, I was bitter about it. There are some roles that I get bitter about, especially when I can connect to it. I mean, if you're familiar with the show, you might remember the episode. Johnny and Daniel go to a hockey rink and then they get into a fight with the guy off the ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the part.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. And
Uh,
then Gotham as well. Thank you for bringing Gotham up. Yeah, that was, I think that part was the third time I auditioned for Gotham. And I'm glad I got the part I did. I mean, because there was such more substance to this, to Culpepper, and I was able to bring a lot more after Gotham ended. Writing my own Gotham spinoff based off my character, and being trying to pitch it and get that produced, and just going to comic cons and comic shops locally and just give back to the fans and sign things and just be present. And it brought a new world that.
yeah, I mean, you might be able to see I've sort of got a little collection of bits and stuff behind me on my shelves. There's a lot of Batman stuff. I'm an enormous Batman fan.
I see is that a hat? I
Yeah,
see a hat.
there's three Batman hats, quite a few pops, Lego figures. I've got yeah, this is like my little room. I've got a few little bits up in here, but
All right, well, I'm going to send you some signed Gotham stuff then, man.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
But as you said, that's for me so similar to like the hockey family, especially fans of hockey, because fans of hockey, like, doesn't matter who you've played for, where you've played, or how you've played. If you go to their team, you're part of that family.
Right.
As an actor, I think you could be in this, you could be in that, but if you're in something to do with Batman, those
Oh,
Batman fans, you're part of that family.
it's forever. And I knew, I wasn't a massive part. I was in one episode. It was supposed to be two, but it was a substantial part. And I learned to embrace it a few years after I even did that, and realized that there's people that they come to you, especially me being able to, I reached out, to comic book shops, and I wasn't really knowledgeable of comics and the Batman history other than just growing up and watching, Batman, Adam West. That was really it. I wasn't like a comic book connoisseur, uh, but I kind of grew onto it, and the research that I did for the pilot that I wrote about, Culpepper, um, it just kind of got me in touch with that world a little more, and realized that it's important that you're a part of this DC world and embrace it. And I was able to embrace it, and I made probably over a couple, over 3 years, I made like 10 appearances, and I knew my audience. I wasn't going to some massive Comic Con. I was going to little tiny comic book shops in the tri-state area, people who were appreciative of, oh wow, you reached out to me. Thank you. Sure, come on in. You're going to sign for free? Yeah, I'll sign for free. I got awesome stuff made for the appearance. So it was just like giving back, and people were really like humble about, like, wow, thanks for coming all the way over here to spend some time and talk to us about it. Yeah, so it's awesome, man.
Yeah. So have you, as you said, so everything that you filmed for this documentary was a couple of years ago?
Yes, it was. So everything was over. The shooting of with an actual cinematographer was over 4 days. Then here and there were a couple little interviews that I did on my own to kind of throughout the same time, though. It all spanned through about 3 months. It all compiled in 3 months. 4 days was major production with my cinematographer who came with me. Yeah, but everything was, my gosh, August 22. And like I said, I thought it was going to get done, and just things kept flopping. I'm like, and it was frustrating because I got this beautiful thing, and, I'm just getting older and older. I'm like, it's going to be, even though it's not, I felt like it was going to lose its concept and steam, but it's really not, because like we talked about earlier, it's generational, it's timeless, it's a timeless story. Some things may be a little outdated in it, not really, but I think the story and the premise it's fine whenever it was released. And I think the timing now is perfect with this month and every Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Like, as you said, with the Four Nations happening at the moment, I know there's a
I
lot
know,
of
right? It's perfect.
excitement stateside for that. Did you find there was a correlation between the feeling of, am I going to get picked, am I not going to get picked, to auditioning for a part?
Yes, because in acting, you don't hear the word no. You just assume, which is, I hate the word assume. You just assume after a couple days you didn't get the job. You only hear yeses. So like, ring, ring, ring. Hey, Phil. Hi, it's your agent. Yes, they like you. You got the job. They don't call you. You didn't get it, Phil. If they did that, I'd be getting hundreds of call a year, because I audition a lot, 100 times a year. So it's a tough business, because as an actor, your job is just to audition and just let it go. You do your job, you make your choice, let it go. Especially these past years from home, it's been harder, but easier. You do it in the comfort of your own studio. You got a little more time to rehearse, make a good, even better choice. You could go in and say, oh, I don't like that one, delete it. Oh, good. And then come upstairs, edit it, send it off to the people. I was not liking that for a while, from 2020. I felt like you're missing the personality of me. Enter a room or just talk to somebody how I do before I get into a character that I created for the scene.
Yeah.
But I'm over that now. I'm like, all right, I'm doing it from home. Who cares? I mean, here's another 100 to you fucking guys. I'm not going to hear, it's just, you got to learn to let it go. Do your job, let it go. For things like this, it's the same world. They're going to contact you on the ice, off the ice. If they like you, they'll tell you right there. We want you to come to main camp, or they'll give you a phone call, or if these people have agents or managers or what have you, yeah, they'll call them, but you won't hear if you didn't get it. Yeah, it's just kind of, so though that does is very relatable.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to send out a blast email to 100 to 60 to 100 people that try out these camps. No one made it except one guy from Canada.
Honestly, it's a way that I don't actually think that I would be able to live
Oh,
because
it's
it's
terrible.
yeah.
It's fucking terrible. There are so many lows in this business. I mean, and I'm talking I'm not an A-list actor who's, you see like they're always fucking working, right? Or you look at the people that are grinding, like the people that you're like, I know that. Where's that guy from? Guy, that's the grinding actors, and it's ebbs and flows. Like I was hot for a while, then I fizzled out for a bit. I mean, it's not like we just talked about, auditions are the actor's job, and there are plenty of them on my end. It's just then you got to get it to that next step of starting to book again and get these jobs where it's been tough. And yeah, the business is mentally exhausting, especially doing it for 17 plus years. I mean, I'm almost at 20 years, another year and a half or 2 years, and it's you can have a couple years go by that you don't book one job, and you're like, holy shit, 400 auditions later, what the hell? Where are they? It is taxing, man.
Yeah, I know, and more power to you for doing it. I know in one of my previous jobs, I'm a electromechanical engineer, and I used to work on fitness equipment. And I worked in this guy's house down in Kent in the UK, massive house. Uh, the gym off the left hand side of the house had a glass wall looking into the garage where there was a Range Rover and a Lamborghini.
Oh gosh.
On the wall, there's all these pictures of the Hatton diamond heist that happened in London about 12 years ago, where some guys actually drilled through the armor protected wall in the floor and stole millions of pounds of diamonds out of this diamond place in London. And he's got all pictures of it on the wall. And I'm thinking, is he one of the guys that did it? Is he actually like a criminal? And then when I left his house, he'd signed the paperwork and I put his name into Google, and it come up IMDb, and he was an actor, and he was in the TV film about the Hatton Moon, diamond heist.
Oh shit.
But I looked around his house and I thought, this guy's in a TV movie. What the hell does Ben Affleck's house look like?
Oh gosh. Oh man, yeah. I tell you, man, it's a business, it's a world, it's all over the place, man. Yeah, you just gotta go with the punches, man. Just keep trucking along. All the good actors usually say it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you just gotta keep that going. But you have your weeks, man, and it's just rough. I mean, my daughter, who is now 8, she's also a professional actor.
Oh well.
And only do that because I don't have to take her into New York City to audition. We do it from home. And she had an amazing end of 2024. She booked 3 awesome jobs right in a row. So, one of us is booking, but, we're always auditioning with each other. I read opposite her in her auditions, and she's been actually helping me now that she's getting better at reading. So it's fun to kind of work with her. And she's kind of getting some good attention and booking some really awesome stuff now. So she's just kind of like following everything I do, I love it. It's great.
She's still playing hockey.
Oh, of course. Yeah. She's solid. Her little, so right now she's been, playing real hockey, half ice still because she's 8 and under still.
Yeah.
So it's half ice games. And just the last session, she won the little championship, which is awesome. She gets to play. She's been on the team with her other little girlfriend, which is awesome too. That there's a couple more girls playing in this little league. But she's loving it. She's awesome to watch play. She's a little like firecracker out there. It's fun, definitely fun.
Does she watch hockey recreationally as well?
Yes, we try to at times. We'll watch a lot of the documentary fun stuff together, like what they do last season, that playoff documentary that was on Amazon. That was good. We watched that together.
Face Off. Yeah.
Yeah, Face Off. Yes. We watched the Winter Classic, behind the scenes stuff together. Some of the games, not too much because they're on a little later. She happens to be a Flames fan, which is just so awkward. Back then I didn't understand it, but um, yeah, she became a big Johnny hockey fan back then. Unfortunately, yeah. So yeah, it's just fun. It's another cool thing that we can share together. Definitely.
What's your NHL team?
I'm a Kings fan.
The Kings.
Yeah, you know, when you're younger, I was a Devils fan because of the access to, my dad and I would go to tons of Devils game, and I would love Kirk Muller. And then when the Russians started coming in, I was turning my game into Fedorov and Bore, and that's how I kind of played. And then as an adult, I kind of pushed away to having a favorite team. Oh, I love this team. But when the Kings went on that run, their first playoff that run in 12, I was like, this is a new breed of hockey coming in where these four lines can just run you through a fucking wall. And I was in awe of that style. And I was just kind of like, I enjoyed watching them. So I just really enjoyed watching their run for the couple years that they had. And still to this day, the game has changed. Yeah. So they were just really exciting to watch. And just as a lover of hockey and the style of game and what they were bringing. It's what Daryl Sutter was just instilling in these guys. It was really cool hockey to watch these guys just come back from 4-0 a couple times, and then that first round against the Blues that one. Yeah, it was exciting. It was cool to watch.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, if you ever make it to the UK, there's plenty of hockey out here for you to enjoy.
That
And
sounds awesome.
you might even be able to get involved in some as well.
Oh, that'd be even better. New documentary coming overseas.
See what UK beer league is like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I mean the UK. One of the reasons I started this podcast was to try and grow the sport in the UK.
Okay.
Is the most attended indoor sport in Britain, which is brilliant for it.
Wow.
I think only because boxing is no longer considered an indoor sport because they do it in stadiums a lot of the time now.
Oh, okay.
But it is starting to grow. We've said for years what it really needs is Team GB to qualify for the Olympics, either men or women, and that would give it a boost. They've both recently just failed towards the final hurdle for that.
Uh,
For the
I
next
was just going to
Olympics.
say how close are they? And you just answered.
Yeah, the women got further than the men. In all honesty, I think the women have probably got a better chance in 4 years than the men have.
Yeah, I would probably agree. Like,
So,
yeah.
there's not many English accents in the GB team. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, damn.
There's a lot of dual nationals.
I'm sure.
There's a fantastic clip actually from I think it was from the World Championships a couple of years ago, and the camera goes into the huddle, and I can't remember the guy's name's completely escaped me, but it was the GB captain, and they're all in there, and he's like, "Right, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna take it to these cunts, we're gonna do," and he's like,
Really?
"Oh, British accent."
Oh my God, that's dual citizenship. Is that what's happening
Not
there?
a dual citizenship. Yeah, we get quite lucky over here with players that have got dual citizenship. It's a lot easier for them to come and sign and play
No kidding.
over here. Later this week, actually, I'll be chatting to a Canadian born, went to Arizona College, now playing in the UK and living in the UK, but does have a British passport. So it made it a lot easier
Wow.
for him to come on. That'll be his second appearance because he was playing for the club that I follow last.
Okay.
So he's been on. And then, as we say, we were just talking just previously, the league that you were trying to try out for, the Federal Prospects League, the Danbury Hat-Tricks that are in their league. I'll be joined by Dylan Hullaby, who plays for them, who was in the UK
That's
last
fun.
year.
Next week for you.
That's next week. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, with the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and obviously with knowing who they are in that league, have you watched the Netflix documentary about the Danbury Trashers?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's
What did you make of that?
Oh my gosh, that was just a. I don't even know if I have any words. I'm baffling. I just like speechless in a way of just that everything that happened. Yeah, I guess I might have to rewatch it to get more adjectives for you, but it was a quick, easy watch, But
Yeah.
rough, man, rough.
I have spoken to AJ a few times, AJ Galante.
Really?
Message. We're trying to get an appearance sorted. He's been on a couple of other UK hockey podcasts. as well over here. There's a couple that, like players stories for the road type podcasts that AJ's been on. And I think it's as with what you're doing, it's a fantastic hockey story.
Right, right. But yeah, just crazy. Yeah, mine's not as well. It could be crazy my age, but and I'm skating with all my sons pretty much out there. It could be, yeah.
Yeah, but it's certainly not Sopranos does hockey.
No, it's not.
Well, Phil, thank you so much for your time, man, and for telling us all about Age is Just a Hockey Number. People can find that on YouTube. Is that what's best to search?
Yeah, that's the channel. That was one of my other, situations. I'm like, let me just release it on its own YouTube channel and then go from there and, see what happens in the future. But yes, Age is Just a Hockey Number. Official trailer is out. Episode 1 came out last Friday, and then there will be 3 more episodes the next 3 Fridays of February.
Excellent. We'll look forward to them. As I said, Phil, thank you so much for your time. Been a real, real pleasure. And we'll definitely be keeping in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man.
A massive thank you to Phil Eichinger for joining me on the podcast. Didn't really sort of say too much about that one. It was something that came about in the last couple of weeks, and we got it organised to get it down. I've watched the first episode of his mini documentary. It's really, really is a good watch, and it's just another little fantastic hockey story. The sport is so good for bringing up little stories like that. And Phil, now almost 50, like I said, if he could get himself over to the UK, sounds like he'd have a pretty good shot at maybe playing in OHL2 or something even around that level. So thank you so much for listening. Hopefully later on this week, we'll have the Damon Porter episode as well, because we have pretty much nailed on a time for that. So we'll get that out as quickly as we possibly can. But thank you so much for listening. Really do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you go and check out Age is Just a Hockey Number on YouTube and see Phil's documentary there. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.